After school. Outside the windows, the sky burned orange with sunset. The old audiovisual room sat abandoned, unused by anyone for years. On top of a dusty desk, a laptop glowed faintly. Tanaka spun the screen around proudly. So? Finished. Emily leaned closer. On the screen was a strangely elaborate website titled The 7 Mysteries Club. Emily let out an awkward laugh. Wait, you actually made this? Tanaka spun in his chair with a grin. It has a submission form. Anonymous posting allowed. Photo uploads too. Ghost stories welcome. Emily immediately looked uncomfortable. Don't encourage them. Tanaka looked even prouder. And I already promoted it. Emily felt a bad feeling creeping in. Where? Tanaka answered casually. On the school's underground forum. Silence. Emily stared at him blankly. The what? Tanaka paused. Basically a message board only students know about? Emily narrowed her eyes. How do you know about it? Tanaka avoided eye contact. I just drifted there while wandering the ocean of the internet. Emily sighed. That sentence alone makes you completely untrustworthy. Ping. A notification sound. Both of them looked at the screen. Tanaka smirked. We got one. New message sender, second-year student, brass band club Emily, pulled her chair closer. Tanaka began reading aloud. This happened last week. We were preparing for a competition, so I stayed late after school. That's when I heard piano notes coming from the music room. I thought someone was still practicing, so I peeked inside. But there was nobody there. The room suddenly felt quieter. Tanaka's expression stiffened slightly. He continued. It wasn't a melody, just single notes, one at a time. Pong, pong. I got scared and ran away. The next day, and the day after that, I checked again. But nothing ever happened after that. When I heard the 7 Mysteries Club had been created, I felt like I should tell someone. He finished reading. Silence. Far away, sports clubs shouted outside. Emily murmured quietly. Single notes? Tanaka shrugged. That's the part you're focused on? Emily frowned. I mean, if someone was playing, wouldn't it be an actual song? Tanaka thought for a moment. Yeah, good point. Emily stared out the window. The sun was beginning to disappear. Wanna go? Tanaka grinned instantly. Obviously. After school. The school building was silent. The two walked through empty hallways. The music room stood ahead. Tanaka lowered his voice dramatically. Ooh, it's gonna appear, Emily answered immediately. Shut up. Clack, the door slid open. The music room glowed dimly in the evening light. Rows of neatly arranged discs. An old piano. Nobody inside. Tanaka looked slightly disappointed. Looks normal. Emily stepped inside slowly. She touched the piano keys. Cold. So this is where the notes were heard. Tanaka sat down on the bench. He randomly slammed a few keys. A terrible discordant sound echoed out. Emily winced. You suck, Tanaka smirked. It's called art. Emily scanned the room. Old sheet music. Portraits hanging on the wall. Dark orange sunset light. The atmosphere felt strangely heavy. You know, Emily whispered, it doesn't feel like someone is here. Tanaka looked over. What do you mean? Emily searched for the words. It feels more like an echo. Tanaka fell silent for a moment. Then he pulled out his phone. Wait, I'm checking the underground forum. Emily sighed. Seriously, what even is that forum? The music room darkened further as the sun sank lower. Tanaka scrolled through old posts. Suddenly, found something. Emily moved closer. An old thread, several years old. Title: The Music Room at 8 p.m. 8 p.m.? Tanaka began reading. You can hear sounds from the music room at night. Some nights you hear it, some nights you don't. It's not a melody, only single notes. Emily's expression darkened. It's the same thing. Tanaka kept scrolling. Oh, wait. There's another post? It read, Bach, 14, open corner bracket, 8 p.m. Emily frowned. What does that even mean? Tanaka suddenly looked serious. You know Bach loved number symbolism, right? Emily immediately got a bad feeling. Tanaka grabbed a notebook and drew a clock. If you convert Bach into numbers, it becomes 14. Reverse it, and you get 41. Emily stared at him. Why do you even know this stuff? Ignoring her. Tanaka pointed at the clock, directly opposite it. Then he spoke quietly. If 14 represents life, then maybe 20 represents the other side. The music room fell completely silent. Then, far away, the school intercom chimed. 5 p.m. The sound faded away. The room sat in silence. The sunset had almost turned into night. Emily checked the clock. You're seriously waiting until 8? Tanaka hesitated, but curiosity had already won. We've come this far, Emily sighed heavily. This is absolutely the kind of thing people regret. Tanaka laughed. Now it finally feels like a horror club. Emily crossed her arms. It's literally our first day. Tanaka leaned back against a desk. But still, if 14 means life, isn't it weird that the opposite side lands perfectly on 20? Emily shrugged. Feels kind of made up. Maybe, but if it was Bach, I could see him doing it. Emily stared outside. The sky had turned black. The school felt almost empty now. I want to go home. If we leave now, this'll bother us forever. Emily clicked her tongue quietly. The clock read 7:59 p.m. The music room sat in total silence. Outside the windows, complete darkness. Emily rubbed her arms. It's freezing. Tanaka stared at the clock. Tick, tick, tick. 8 p.m. Silence. Emily exhaled nervously. See? Nothing happened. Pong, a single note. Both froze instantly. The sound echoed slowly through the music room. A pause. Pong? Tanaka stood up suddenly. Hey! The piano sat untouched. Nobody there. The keys weren't moving. And yet, Pong. The sound rang out again. Emily's breathing became shallow. Tanaka forced himself to stay calm. Maybe it's some kind of speaker prank. Then, Pong. This time, it sounded like it came from directly behind them. Both turned around. Nobody. Silence. Emily whispered softly. Bach was almost completely blind near the end of his life. Tanaka looked back at her. Emily stared at the piano. Even after losing his sight, he kept composing. Pong. Another note. Emily slowly closed her eyes. To Tanaka. If losing his sight allowed him to see something else instead? Tanaka stared at her, completely confused. Emily stood motionless. And then, the atmosphere changed. Warmth. Inside Emily, the scenery shifted. The music room at dusk. Soft, golden light. The scent of old wood. And there, sitting before the piano, an elderly man, heavyset, white hair. A calm profile. Johann Sebastian Bach. He played single notes gently, almost happily. Pong. Slowly, carefully, as if feeling the sound itself. Emily realized something. He wasn't looking, not with his eyes. He was touching the world through sound. There was no fear, only existence. Bach smiled quietly. Then, one final note. Pong. Emily opened her eyes. The dark music room returned. Silence. Nobody there. Tanaka's voice trembled slightly. What did you see? Emily stayed quiet for a moment, then finally said, He looked happy. Tanaka frowned. What does that even mean? Emily stared at the piano. It didn't feel scary. It felt like he'd always been there. Silence. Wind whispered faintly in the distance. The two returned to the clubroom. Empty hallways. A silent after school. Tanaka reached for the laptop to close it. Then, ping. A notification appeared. Both froze. Unread DM. Unknown sender. Subject. About the music room end.